What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So Weiss Schwarz have revealed some cards for Dandadan that is coming out first in Japanese. We don't know if it's coming out in English yet. I'd imagine it will. Be surprised if it doesn't. But we have a release date for the trial deck for Dandadan at December the 13th, right? So that is coming out pretty soon. And they've revealed some of the cards in the trial deck. We're going to take a look at those cards. This is all they've revealed at the moment. The booster pack won't be actually revealed until spring 2025. So these are coming like really early compared to the booster boxes, which I get it. Like, it's airing, get the product out. Like, I always think if they can release the product, like Free Ren, they did this perfect. It literally finished airing. About 2 weeks later, the set came out in Japanese. It's a real shame they can't do this for English, because I feel like a lot of the hype and excitement and just sales in general are lost due to the fact that it comes out so much more later on. So maybe that's probably why they're trying to get this out as quick as they can while it's still coming out. So that kind of makes sense. But yeah, that is a big... I mean, it's spring. It's probably not, you know, you're still looking at like a good couple of months until it comes out, right? Yeah, it depends whether it's start spring, end of spring, right? Otherwise, you could be waiting quite a while. But from what we know, from the information, let's just get into it, show you what the cards are. This product does not include the cast foiling, stamping, autograph. There's no signed cards in the trial deck. I mean, the trial deck itself looks really cool. The card at the front looks pretty cool. Like, it looks really, yeah, as a product, I think it looks really, really fun, really nice. Here's the SPs that don't have signatures on them. Let's just turn this translation off. I first saw these like a day or two ago. As soon as I saw these, I absolutely hated them. I really can't lie. I was just like, I just thought these look so trash. I really dislike these cards, which is weird because there was a set quite some time ago where the SPs, you know, most people thought they were rubbish and horrendous, and I actually really enjoyed them. That was Chainsaw Man. And the backgrounds, the reason why people didn't like them were the backgrounds in some of the SPs were non-existent. It was just a color. There was literally nothing in the background. Some of the other backgrounds did have something going on, but they were very simple. And sometimes Weiss Schwarz have some really detailed, really nice background detailed cards. But I didn't mind for Chainsaw Man. The character, I felt like the character art on the card was fine and enough to, you know, the background's normally where the texture gets applied, so it makes it look super shiny. And especially the Power Trial Deck SSP. I mean, the background was just two colors with like almost like a paint effect where paint was running down. So it was super simple, but I actually really liked it. I thought the colors were amazing, and then the texture they applied to that made it look so nice. These ones, they have more going on in the background, but I just hate it. I just hate what they've got going on. Green buildings, like, I don't know what it is. I feel like it's a mixture of a few things. So the reasons why I dislike these, I think the colors are awful. Like, although the colors seem to, like, you know, you've got green here, kind of blends into the bottom of the card in this part. You've got yellow here and it kind of matches this. But for whatever reason, I just really don't like the colors. I think the green, the blue, and the yellow here, and then the kind of purpley pink, I think it just doesn't work. I think it just looks awful. Also, the pattern that they've done, this bit here, which will be some kind of foiling that they've done around the outside, again, just makes it feel weird. Like, it kind of distracts from the background. I would rather that just be a border that goes around the outside that's like shiny. But because it's like a pattern and it's not just completely blocked out from the card, and it kind of goes into the card, it's just, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I'm so disappointed with these designs. Obviously, we've got this here, this icon of the character and some kanji characters. That's what's replacing what would usually be a signature. What I think is, I feel like the background distracts so much from the characters, not in a good way. I feel like the background distracts so much, but it also looks rubbish. I don't, I'm sure there's going to be people out there that think these are fine or don't care, or so there'll be some people that like these cards. It's just not what I would want to see. And I know this is just a trial deck, right? So like, I don't like these. I'm 100% not opening a trial deck because I think they look rubbish. Obviously, these are flat designs as well. Apply some texture on it. You might not even notice the background. You might not even see it because the texture might be so nice across the card that it kind of distracts from the background, and all you can see is the texture. So seeing these in person, they might look completely different. I'd imagine, to be fair, they will look so much nicer than these flat designs. They always do. They're always going to look nicer when you've got all the shiny stuff on them. But just based on the flat designs, I really don't like these. I really don't like them. So let's actually just scroll through. We've got 3 of them. So we've got these 3 characters here. I have watched the show. I am watching the show. The last episode was actually really good. And it's a weird one because this is kind of like a Chainsaw Man kind of show, but the weirdness is, I guess Chainsaw Man's not that weird, but like it's still taken to another level in terms of like, I think will be less popular than Chainsaw Man, although still a popular show. If you've seen episode 1 and that's all you managed to watch, I do highly recommend continuing with it, because I don't know why anime does this. They put loads of weirdness sometimes into the first episode, and it's like, why did you feel the need to do that? Because they don't really match that level of weirdness throughout the rest of the show. I'm sure there's going to be episodes and down the line where there's some weirdness again, but as it stands, like up to episode 7, there's so much more depth to the show that is suggested like in episode 1. And I feel like with episode 1, you're going to put, with the level of weirdness that they use, you're going to put so many people off that, because now I've watched episode 7, I'm like trying to recommend it to people that watched 1 episode and then dropped it because they're like, yeah, that's weird. Like, it's cool, it looks good, but it's a little, it's a bit weird, and they haven't watched it. And I'm like, trust me, continue watching it. It is a good show. But it's like, why did they need to do that in the first place? Just leave that part out, and then more people would enjoy this show and not drop it. But let's, the booster box will have most of the cards in. I guess why I'm disappointed is because this show, the artwork of this show is so nice. So, like, the intro, let's just bring up that. Like, the clips in the intro, like, imagine some of these, like, images on the card art. Like, I hope we get some. But, like, it's so stylized. It's done in such a cool, fun, like, cinematography, artistic kind of way. The colors, like, everything. Like, I absolutely love the intro. Obviously, the song is an absolute banger, but, like, the visuals as well are so sick. I just wish they, like, when you compare this to this, I'm like, oh my god, it literally looks like someone's made this in like MS Paint. Like, it doesn't even compare. And that's what I think. I just had that expectation of like how cool and stylized some of the show is, and then we get this, and I'm like, I just really don't like it, which is fine. People have, I'm sure some people will like this, and as I said, in person it's probably going to look nicer. I just had more high hopes. I think it's the green. I think it's just the green buildings. If they just removed the green buildings, I think that would be an improvement. Like, it won't be amazing. It's still not going to be really nice. But I think if they just removed the green buildings, it would just look better. At least you'd have more focus on the character. I feel like the green is just massively distracting on the card. But yeah, there we go. Right, we've got Dandadan. Trial decks coming out next month in Japanese. English, not English set. We have not heard that. The booster box in Japanese coming out next spring. Let me know what you think down below in the comments about these cards though, guys, because I really don't like them. I want to know what everyone else thinks. Am I just being too harsh? Are these actually okay? Or, to be honest, it is a trial deck, so kind of who cares? But I actually kind of like it when the chase card's in the trial deck. I don't know why, but when I think of like Mushoku Tensei, I mean, that's a bit biased because I did pull the Roxy from a trial deck, so that's probably why. But sometimes I like the chase card being in the trial deck because it feels like harder to chase for some reason, because it's like not as many people want to buy loads of trial decks to chase it. So yeah, it feels like a little bit more special, and obviously with Mushoku Tensei, that Roxy, it kind of felt like an alt art card. Like it had loads going on in the background. There's loads to the design, and then the main SPs in the booster box were, well, they had SPs and SSPs, but they're a bit more simple. And then obviously the SSPs got a bit more treatment in terms of like oiling around the edges and things. But yeah, I think sometimes it's nice when there's like a really desirable card in the trial decks. I feel like maybe you don't really get as many of them because people don't want to order tons of trial decks. They aren't as fun to open, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, these are the trial deck SPs. I'm not a huge fan. You've got one guy, two girls. There's no signatures on them, so overall, like it's a bit of a disappointment because you're not getting signed cards. So a lot of people won't bother trying to hit these out of like trial deck display cases and things, as much as if there were signatures. And that on top, you've got this as the design, which to me is just really not appealing at all. So yeah, there you go. That's the trial deck. Once we get some more information about the booster boxes, I will do obviously a video, and let's hope we get some really, really nice designs in the booster box. I want to see some wacky stuff like this. I mean, it's a wacky show, right? Like we deserve to have some really, really cool designs. Just things like this, like even that's just really, really nice. And then we get this. So hopefully we get something decent in the booster box. As always, guys, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.